Hello everybody, my name is Loren Keisling, and today I want to talk about why I chose to study wildlife management and what influences have impacted that decision. Up until this point in my life, I've made wildlife management a primary focus of my education, including a minor in fish and wildlife management for my bachelor's degree from Northern Arizona University, and now choosing the wildlife management capstone option for my master's degree. Here I will cover those factors as well as some specific fields and goals that align with my wildlife management education. There have been several influences in my life that led me to choose an education in wildlife management and eventually a career path focused in wildlife management. But the primary influence has probably been all the great memories I've shared with my family in the great outdoors. I grew up in Page, Arizona, right next to Lake Powell. It's just a small little dot on the map, but the scenery and range of different wildlife are second to none. I grew up hunting and fishing with my family and usually did this as some type of family vacation. It's from those vacations and those specific memories that have developed the passion I now have for the outdoors and wildlife. From the age of 10 years old, I can remember two of my favorite hobbies always being hunting and fishing. I mentioned that hunting and fishing used to be a hobby only because I now feel that hunting and fishing are more of a passion of mine. I feel that these activities express my true interests and concerns. I developed this type of philosophy while going through my undergraduate studies, specifically my wildlife management classes. I realized how complex wildlife management can be and the important role hunting and fishing can play in wildlife management plans. Even more than that, I feel that my experiences of hunting and fishing have created in me a knowledge and respect that will attribute to my wildlife management efforts in the future. Part of the reason I'm in the Air Force now is because I was unable to get a wildlife management job straight out of college. I graduated from Northern Arizona University in 2007, and part of the Fish and Wildlife Management program was an internship program that they offered to graduates. But because of the economic problems at that time, the Arizona Game and Fish were forced to shut down their internship program. I tried getting a job with the United States Forest Service, but found out that because I lacked a veteran's preference, my applications weren't getting past the first round. This led me to join the Air Force and added another chapter to my life. So far, I've enjoyed my new life in the Air Force, but my long-term goal is to move back to Flagstaff, Arizona, and eventually get a job with the Arizona Game and Fish or the United States Forest Service. I'm not sure if I'll stay in active duty for another 20 years or if I only have a few more years left, but either way I plan on making my second career one in wildlife management. When I do start a career in wildlife management, I would really like to work with big game animals, including mule deer, pronghorn antelope, and elk. There are a couple of jobs with the Arizona Game and Fish that deal specifically with herd management, and those are landscape management and watershed management. To effectively manage a game species population, it involves many coordinated efforts in different fields, all with the same goal in mind: to have strong recruitment numbers and predictable harvest numbers. In Arizona, some of the contributing efforts to a healthy elk population is watershed management, which involves making sure water is available and accessible, especially during drought, and landscape management, which in Arizona includes preventing elk from damaging new aspen growths and ensuring redirected elk feeding areas that are capable of supporting increased traffic. In closing, I'd like to refer to a Sand County Almanac by Aldo Leopold. This book has been one of my favorite books of all time. In fact, I remember reading this book before I was certain which minor I wanted to choose for my studies in my bachelor's degree. Leopold's poetic style of writing about the land ethic is what ultimately convinced me to study wildlife management, and what I would like to end with is one of my favorite quotes from that book. One of the penalties of an ecological education is that one lives alone in a world of wounds. Much of the damage inflicted on the land is quite invisible to laymen. An ecologist must either harden his shell and make believe that the consequences of science are none of his business, or you must be the doctor who sees the marks of death in a community that believes itself well and does not want to be told otherwise.